Hey everyone, you're with Matthew, you're in the Hub. We're going to keep exploring the principles and the insights that drive our approach to teaching yoga to everybody, regardless of ability and disability. Now, one of the things that it is I think paramount is to realize that you're not just learning new techniques when you come to our trainings. You're actually also trying to explore what you've already learned, but from a different perspective. So let me explain what I mean. The way that this question gets brought into focus, because I think that helping and sharing yoga with everyone is not a problem with yoga. It's a problem with our realization of what yoga, and in particular asana, is. So yoga can go to everyone. Now, the way that I try to communicate that is to make a distinction that the principles of yoga, the principles of asana is what I'm talking about. The principles of asana do not discriminate. Yoga poses do. Now, that actually, you have to take that in for a while. And the way it comes to a head is so imagine I come up to you as a student and I want to do a yoga class, and you know you're going to teach a lot of standing poses. And you look at me and go, I look at you and say, hey, I want to do yoga. What do? How are you going to teach me standing poses? How are you going to teach me Tadasana, even though I can't stand up and do it the way you do it? Now, this is the beginning of a big shift in your orientation to what you already know. How do you teach me access to poses that I cannot physically do? And if you say you just teach my imagination, I think you need to go back and think again, because that intersects another problem. And this is where my yoga practice, I was lucky with a yoga teacher that I met right out of the gate, which her name is Joe Zukovich, is that one of your roles as a teacher is to make a student feel like they belong. And not just because you tell them, no, yoga's for everyone. No, how do you take that truth, which is the truth, yoga is for everyone, but how do you make me, instead of just having to mentally believe that, how do you help me realize what that means from inside to out? How do you help me participate in poses on the inside at the core without me being able to do the poses on the outside? And in our methodology, what we do is start to distinguish between the principles that make poses possible and the outer form of the poses. So we start to focus on sensations in poses as opposed to the outer form. Now, this means you might have to re-experience and rethink what you've already learned as a yoga teacher. Most likely, you've learned from being able to do the poses over and over again, and over time, being able to take the shape of the poses has helped you refine how to do them from inside to out. But now you're confronted with a student, me, right in front of you, not being able to over and over get the experience of triangle pose, Trikonasana, and yet I still want to gain access to at least parts or important parts or the core parts of Trikonasana. That's where I hope that you start to really explore. There is no greater gift than when a student comes up to you who you don't know how to teach, and you have to make them a partner in an exploration. Not only is that powerful for them, that's transformative for you. And this is part of why I wish everybody would learn how to teach yoga to everybody. Because what it does is it reshapes you as a yoga teacher. It makes you know what you already know from a different direction, from a different perspective. And because of that, you learn different things that fill in the depth of your yogic realization. So making me feel like I belong is also you not thinking that you know exactly how you would teach me Tadasana, because you don't. So that kind of transparency, that kind of invitation to me into the experience of poses from inside to out that I can't do on my own, that's all part of what it is to help me belong. And so there are many ways that you end up doing it, and I want to tell you from every fiber of my being is that it's worth it to take the way that you came to poses, right, the repetitive performance of poses and your knowledge of them, and realize that you have to teach differently, that you have to explore what yoga means, how yoga travels through my body, how triangle pose or dandasana or tadasana travel through this body. I promise you will reshape who and what you are and what you believe yogic realization is. Now, I know a lot of you have already started on this journey, but I hope you know that you're not just sharing yoga with people that don't get access. I hope you're realizing that your students who don't conform to ordinary students are helping you explore what yoga and asana actually is. I'm glad you let me talk to you like that. We got more coming, and until next time. Hey, I'm back. If you liked what you saw, there's more coming. To keep up with new releases, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on your notifications.